save you guys thousands in the future, so tune in so we can go over this with you guys. We're really excited about it. Today's our first Polestar live video, and I'm super excited to have you guys here. I have Larry, our master technician. Welcome, Larry.
Oh, thank you for inviting me.
Of course. Larry, every single job that he goes out to, customers have nothing but positive feedback for him, so we're really excited to have you. Welcome.
Oh, thank you.
So just give them a little introduction about yourself, and then I'll start asking questions.
Yeah, so anyway, my name is Larry T. Roy. I'm one of the techs here, and my intent is to serve customers in a way that their unit will last longer, make it more efficient, but the most important thing, to have clean air in their home. And a lot of customers right now are complaining about, why am I sneezing? Why is there dust in the house? And I said, well, let's find out. And as soon as we find out a solution, I make recommendations, and guess what? They're happy with the results.
Awesome. And the customers love him.
Oh, thank you.
He's definitely an asset to our team here at Polestar, so we're really excited. So to get started, Larry, can you tell us a little bit about how you rate your air filters?
Well, according here in the United States, they have this MERV rating. The MERV rating is actually the minimum effective rating value, and it goes from 1 to 16. The higher the MERV rating, the more particulates it actually traps.
Oh, okay. So whenever you say MERV, what do you mean by that?
Well, the MERV rating is the minimum effective rating value. That means the smaller the number, let's say example a MERV 1. The MERV 1, believe it or not, only removes 20%. So these are filters that you can see through. So if you get a filter and put it right in front of you and get some powder, put it on top and shake it. Wait a minute, it went through the floor because it only removes 20%. So, but one thing I like about it, the pleated filter, which is actually the MERV 6, actually removes up to 30, maybe up to 50%. Now, one thing I like about those filters is they remove everything, but the thing about it is once it gets dirty, you got to replace it to have that airflow.
So the higher the MERV, say I had really bad allergies, I would want something that's higher MERV
Yes.
rating?
It depends on the situation. Now, you got to remember, the higher the MERV rating, it restricts a lot of air.
Okay.
How air conditioning works is if I grab the heat in the house and push it out the door, then the temperature will drop because of the lack of heat. And because of that, the more airflow you have, and cleaning your outside core and having more airflow, your house actually, because of the lack of heat, the temperature drops, and the thermostat gets satisfied, cuts off the unit. Wait a minute. You're cooling the house and you're not using electricity. The word high efficient.
So if there's different MERV filters, how often are you supposed to change those filters? Are they all the same or are they different?
It depends on the size of the house. Normally, if you have 500, maybe 1,000 square feet, a 1-inch filter actually lasts maybe about 3 months. But wait a minute. A larger house doesn't even last that long. Why? Because the larger the house, the more dust, the more particulates it's inside the house. It traps it in there and it gets dirty in a short period of time. Especially those who actually do woodworking and paint a lot, you may want to change your filters every 2 to 3 weeks.
Oh, really?
Yes. If you have a lot of dogs and a lot of cats and it catches the dander, it doesn't work well if that thing gets all clogged up. If you ever ran a marathon, close one nostril. So more airflow.
That's a good way to put it.
Oh, yes.
Huh. So if I have a lot of dogs or cats, what filter should I have?
Well, normally you want a lot of airflow and it's going to clog up. So normally from a 1-inch filter, everybody's getting a 3 and a 5-inch filter. The reason for that is because the more surface you have, believe it or not, once it gets clogged up, you still have more surface to have that airflow. You need 400 CFM per ton. So if you got a 5-ton unit, you need 2,000 CFM on there. So without that airflow, the unit starts to freeze if it's on air conditioning, and it overheats the furnace because that hot air doesn't go inside the house, so it breaks the system down. So
a little simple change like that can solve potential bigger issues.
Yes, in fact, if you change your filters more often, your unit lasts longer, you have cleaner air, and the most important thing, it voices any damages.
So besides those things that you mentioned, say I left my filter in too long, because some people do. It's one of those things where you just don't think about it, even though you put a ton of hours on your HVAC system. So if I left my filter in too long, what are the negative effects on your HVAC system?
Well, one thing I notice is on a coil, it's called an evaporator. So when you add heat to water, the molecule starts to move so fast, it jumps up in the air and they call it vapor. Remove the heat at 32 degrees, the molecule stops moving, it's called solid ice. Okay. So if you're not adding heat to the coil, what happens? It freezes. So in that case, if you don't change your filters often, 3 things happen. You're using a lot of electricity, your house doesn't get cool, and you're
bigger issues if you put it like that. So besides a proper change out of your filters like our homeowners should be doing, what are other ways that they could, do you have any tips for ways they could maintain clean indoor air quality?
So let me draw something here with your permission. So right here you have supply and return. Okay, so I'm going to draw some hot and cold air. Then this right here is called the return. Okay, because of that, the filter is normally in here or inside. So if this is air going in here, this is called negative pressure. Negative pressure, air gets sucked in here. So if I cut a hole here, air gets sucked in there. If there's a hole here where you put your filter in, then air gets sucked in there. So what's going to happen is all that dust goes into this evaporator coil, plugs that up. So the engineers designed this to have a door on there or have this sealed. So what others are doing, they're putting a door or sealing it so the dust doesn't go back into the house. Remember, most of the basements are really dirty because you're not adding, subtracting heat. And because of that, all that dust is around there is getting sucked into the house. You may be wondering, wait a minute, why is my house so dusty? Why am I coughing all the time? It's not because you're not keeping your house clean. It's because the dust is getting sucked in and going back into your home. So normally they have doors on these filters.
Is there any other systems that you work with that help maintain clean indoor air quality?
Yes, in fact, if you look at Consumer Reports, the best filter, believe it or not, in the world is a MERV 16. Now, why would anybody get a MERV 16 for? Well, the MERV 16, the MERV 16, believe it or not, here, I got something here. According to Consumer Reports, this is back in 1997, they rated the MERV 16 the best buy. Why is that? Because it removes all the dust, it removes smoke, and look at the airflow, it's in red. So even though filter is so strict in removing everything, the MERV 16 adds more airflow, causing the unit to work better, and at the same time, it cleans the air. One thing I like about this is a cabinet that you can stick a 1-inch filter, get rid of that. Put a cabinet in there, it's nice and sealed, then suddenly put your fan on for a couple hours. Wait a minute, where's the dust at? Why am I breathing more cleaner air? And where's the pet dander at? It's stuck in there because it's removing 95% of everything in the air. At the same time, you have a lot of airflow.
Yeah, I like it.
Oh, yes.
So, Larry, you see hundreds of customers a month, I'd say. So do you have any funny stories about air filters or anything like that? Or just funny stories in general?
In fact, I had one lady, she's about 80 years old, and she loves me, and she's... one thing good about it, I explained everything in fine detail. So one winter time, she said, you know what, my furnace is not working anymore. I said, wait a minute, let me go downstairs. And when I pulled out the filter, somebody cut a military blanket and stick it in that filter. No airflow. I said, why would anybody cut a filter and stick a blanket in there? Well, what happened is I was removing the dust. When I pulled that filter out, she said, never mind, Larry, the unit's working now.
So that's how big of an issue it could be.
Yes. And I said, well, who's the one who changes your filter? My husband. So I said, can I talk to your husband? Passed away 2 years ago.
Oh.
So that's a funny story. But without that airflow, that furnace and air conditioning cannot survive.
So it's something so minuscule like an air filter change that we could come out and change for you guys that could help you prevent these bigger issues in the future, which saves you money because utility bills stay low and your unit's not breaking down and you can stay comfortable.
Exactly.
It almost seems like everything derives from this air filter, doesn't it?
The only thing is these filters, the 3M, the 1250 and above, well, that's like putting a piece of wood in there, and that's only a 1-inch filter. So you know what? I'm going to get these filters that's permanent, just wash them, you save on filters.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, actually, yes. But the thing about it is, according to Consumer Reports, those type of filters are rated very low. Why? Because they're restricted so much air, the air goes around the filter, putting more dust into the air. Then suddenly, wait a minute, why is this filter not working?
So you wouldn't recommend those?
No, because it's like putting a piece of wood into the system. If you get that permanent filter, the one you wash and blow on it, you can't feel the other side.
Yeah. Well, I think that's all the questions I had for today.
Oh, thank you.
But I feel like we all know now the benefits of just changing an air filter. It can save you so much money in the future.
Oh, yes.
But thanks, Larry, for
thank you
joining
very
us
much.
today. And thank you guys for joining us. We're really excited. We're going to actually be doing this once a month. And we're really excited for, if you guys want to do any suggestions in the comments below for future videos. So we can actually be talking about things you want to hear, not just us talking to you guys. So that's it, and we'll see you guys next month.
Thank you. You guys
Thanks.
take care.
Bye.